गाड़ी जाने के थोड़ा पीछे रखिए।
Okay, good morning. Healthy morning to all of you. Healthy good morning to all of you for offline session. This is the session number 7 of ATAL FDP program. Hybrid microgrid opportunity and challenges for renewable energy resources. So I am Dr. Shivam, Assistant Professor of Electronic Department, NIT Kurukshetra, Co-Coordinator of the ATAL FDP. Heartily welcome Chief Guest of the Day, Dr. R.P. Chauhan sir. He is a professor and head Department of Physics, NIT Kurukshetra. Coordinator of the ATAL FDP, Professor Ratna Dahiya. Coordinator of a School of Renewable Energy and Efficiency, Professor in Electrical Engineering Department, NIT Kurukshetra, and the faculty members and participants of the event. The primary objectives of the ATAL FDP is to provide a national forum to the faculty and research scholars to share the basic knowledge with an objectives of understanding the concept, aspects of penetration of renewable energy sources, electric vehicles, and with hybrid microgrid operation. Now I would like to address to today's session speaker, Dr. R.P. Chauhan sir. Currently, he is a professor and head of the department, NIT Kurukshetra. He has total or up to 35 years experience. He has research area, publications, international and national journals, more than 200, conference proceeding, more than 50, yes, and presented in conference, symposia, more than 500. So he is also visited abroad for international conference of nuclear track and radiation measurement, and starts work or international conference on nuclear tracks in solid at Kobe. Now he has also awarded and honors many received. Best Faculty Award in 2019 from Dr. Sir in NIT Kurukshetra. He also received Best Faculty Award during 2018 and 2017. He received Bharat Shiksha Ratna Award in 2012. He won first prize in the test conducted after national workshop on radiochemistry and application of radio topics, which is organized by DAE and VRNS Mumbai. He won a state runner-up board Outlook Leader Teacher Award. He won consolation prize in All India Science Quiz for college and university teachers organized by DAE at Bhava Atomic Research Center, Mumbai. The management, India, Indira Gandhi National College, Ladwa, presented a citation and memento through the gracious hands of His Excellency, the Governor of Haryana. So we would like to welcome sir for this session. So sir will give session offline. Okay, thank you, sir. Yes, yes.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello. So good morning to all of you attending this faculty development program at NIT Kurukshetra. This lecture is journal for the participants, be it a research scholar or a faculty member. How many of you are research scholars? Okay, all are research scholars. Faculty members are also attending. Okay, so this topic particularly is for research scholars, basically. Though some of the things we will be discussing are also useful for faculty members carrying out research work at any stage. So the topic is research methodology. Many of you may have gone through it during your PhD coursework program. If you are at NIT Kurukshetra, then you must have attended my classes, some of my classes. And otherwise also it is a mandatory course by UGC, University Grants Commission, for the PhD coursework since 2010 or so. In our institute also, it is we started it in 2011, and since then I am teaching research methodology to PhD students. So coming to the topic, research methodology, this is my name and affiliation, and this is my email for any type of correspondence, queries, etc. You can always connect to me through this email. Okay. Then when I used to start teaching research methodology, then I always start with this quotation. There's some overlapping. Okay. Okay. So I always start from this quotation because it through this quotation you realize that we should not be overconfident of our work which we are doing. So this is by Hanson maxim, that all progress is born of inquiry. Means inquiry means if you ask questions, you have some queries in your mind and you ask questions, then new things are born, new discoveries, new inventions come up through inquiries. Doubt is often better than overconfidence. You should never be overconfident of your work. You should have confidence that I am doing good work, but don't have overconfidence that my work is best. Maybe when you are working on a particular topic of research, particular project of research, simultaneously at any part of the globe, many people may be working on the similar topic. And during the time you complete your work for publishing a paper, before that they must have published or must have written some paper or may have filed the patent. So for that purpose, you should first update yourself. Now you have the facility of internet, through which you can know that which publications are there, what are the patents filed regarding my topic. So you should update yourself continuously. Not that you just have a review work at the starting of your PhD. You should update yourself continuously every month that what is going on regarding the topic on which I am working. Otherwise, if someone else has published the similar type of work before you are able to complete your work, then your work will be almost waste, because it will not be published then in a very good paper or very good impact factor paper. So that overconfidence should not be there. But you should be confident through that internet search or through the different media, that what is going on in my topic. So with that confidence you should work. So again, I am reading, all progress is born of inquiry. Doubt is often better than overconfidence. Means instead of overconfidence, you may have some doubts in your mind, some questions in your mind, because for it leads to inquiry. If you have some doubts in your mind, you will try to inquire from your supervisor, from other senior researchers in your field, and inquiry leads to invention. If you make inquiries, you try to solve the problem, then it will lead to invention. So that is a thing that you should keep in mind, always keep in mind that you should not be overconfident. You should be confident of your work, that I am doing my work and this work is okay. But this work is not overlapping, or someone else has done something better than you, that you should cross-check. So that overconfidence should not be there, that I have done this work, so it is supreme. Not always. Maybe it is, but not always. So you should cross-check first and then proceed. So that you should keep in mind. So we go from the starting that in the research, what research is, fundamental things quickly we'll go through, and then few more things. So if we go to the historical part of this word research, then it is derived from a French word, recherche, which means to go about seeking something, in search of something, in search of new knowledge, new thing, or the thing which is better than the earlier one. That is the meaning of this word. It is further derived from the old French word recherche, which is a compound form of re plus searcher, meaning search of something, in search of something. The earliest record of this word is found long back in 1577 in the literature. Now, if we shortly, in 2 lines, want to define research, then we can say that research is an art of scientific investigation. By scientific techniques or through scientific steps, you proceed for research. It is the search for knowledge with the help of some study, observation, comparison, and experiments, because you see it is the general thing for all the subjects, all the disciplines. So in some cases you are going to study something from the literature, like in the subjects like social science, in some subjects like social sciences, literature, etc. Observations, you make some observations physically at different points, like in geography and other subjects, and then make some new thing or conclude something. Comparison with earlier studies, or you are performing experiment or simulation work through software, and then come to the conclusion of some work depending upon that. So research is an art of scientific investigation. It is search of knowledge with the help of the study, observation, comparison, or experimental studies. Research may also be defined as careful consideration of study regarding a particular concern or a problem using scientific method. Means you pick up a problem which can come out through your experience or by discussion with these senior researchers, and then try to solve that problem in a scientific manner, following some scientific steps. What are those steps? We will be discussing in the later part of this. Okay. Now, the different people, different philosophers have given many definitions of science and this research according to their point of view, depending upon their field of working. So some of those statements by different philosophers I have recorded here. Different philosophers explored the different working definition of research. Like if you go to Encyclopedia of Social Science, then research is the manipulation of things, concepts, or symbols for purpose of generalizing to extend, correct, or verify knowledge. Sometimes the earlier knowledge is being extended further, or it is verified, and then sometimes the corrections are also made. In the earlier papers also, if you are working on a similar topic, you may find that there is some mistake, means something is lagging. So that improvement you can make according to, on the basis of your work. So generalize extent, correct or verify knowledge, whether that knowledge aids in the practice of an art. According to American sociologist Robert Bebe, research is a systematic inquiry to describe, explain, predict, and control the observed phenomena. Systematic study. Then this Redmond Moore gave the definition that research is a systemized effort to gain new knowledge. Systematically, you are doing something to modify the earlier knowledge or to gain a new thing or to come out with a new thing. So that is a research. Similarly, dictionary of contemporary English, according to this, the research is a serious effort or serious study of a subject that is intended to discover new facts or test ideas. Similarly, this other dictionary have given different definitions. Some of them I am reading. This is the definition given in your book, which most of the times you use to refer for research methodology, C.R. Kothari's book. So he gave the definition that research is a pursuit of trust with the help of study, observation, comparison, and experiment. The search for knowledge through objective and systematic method of finding solutions to a problem. Ultimately, goal is to find the solution of a particular existing problem, or first to find out a problem and then to find its solution. That is the research. According to Paton, research is the process of looking for a specific question in an organized, objective, and reliable way. That is also important, that the work which you are doing should be reliable. Okay. Then this Rummel also gave the definition of research is an endeavor to discover, develop, and verify knowledge. It is an intellectual process that has developed over hundreds of years, ever changing in purpose or form and always searching for truth. Means maybe you may find when you go through literature search that thousands of persons have worked for their research on a similar topic. It means each time they are adding something or modifying something, and after modification they are presenting. Okay. So according to John Best, the research is considered to be the more formal, systematic, intensive process of carrying on the scientific methods of analysis. It involves a more systematic structure of investigation, usually resulting in some sort of formal record of procedures and a report of results or conclusions that you are making after doing the research. Similarly, Rusk has given the definition that research is a point of view, an attitude of inquiry, or a frame of mind. It asks questions which have not been asked, and it seeks to answer them by following a fairly definite procedure. This Molle gave the definition, the systematic and scholarly application of scientific method interpreted in its broader sense to the solution of the person may be from social sciences, so social studies problem. Conversely, any systematic study designed to promote the development of social studies as a science can be considered as research. Means he says that the social sciences studies in the subjects of social sciences, the research should be carried out in a scientific way, means scientific methods. This Cornell, according to him, to be sure, the best research is that which is reliable, verifiable, and exhaustive. Means the people can rely on that. It is verifiable. That is also an important thing, that the work which you have done, if some researcher after you want to work on a similar topic, first they should be able to verify your work, that you have done something, you have produced some results. So those results should be verifiable. Only then your research has value. And exhaustive means considered in an extensive manner, so that it provides information in which we have confidence. The main point here is that research is literally speaking a kind of human behavior and activity in which people engage. By this definition, all intelligent human behavior involves some research. Research is not only what you are doing in a PhD or in your lab. Research may be done by a laborer, by a farmer, by a worker in a company, or a farmer working in the field. Means they may invent something, some new thing, and you may see if you go through the patent records, then there are many patents which are filed by the illiterate persons, means less literacy, means they are not PhD, they are not MSc, MA, BTech, but they have produced something which is useful for society, and so the patent is filed and they are earning a lot from that also. So some unique thinking is required for that. Okay. PM Cook has given a comprehensive and functional definition of term research. Research is an honest, exhaustive, intelligent searching for facts and their meanings or implications with reference to a given problem. The product or findings of a given piece of research should be an authentic, verifiable, and contribution to knowledge in the field studies. Means, in nutshell, you can say the work which you are doing in a scientific manner, following a procedure, either it should give rise to some new invention, new thing, new product, or it should be some modification of the earlier work, some improvement in the earlier work. Okay, and your research is always appreciated, and I suggest you that if you are going for application of any type of project, particularly for funding, then your research or your topic, your target should be in two ways, then it will get a preference. First is either it should lead to some improvement in the existing technology, means some new technology or modified new technology is developed such that it can give rise to better technology. Or secondly, if you are making something or you are targeted something which is useful for society directly, let us say you are making some instrument after your research or as a product of your project, which is useful for, let us say, in hospitals, for medical sciences, or some other purposes which are some environmental studies which are directly affecting the society, then in these two cases, your project or the funding will always be given preference. If you are targeting a new technology or you are working on such a topic or such a device which is useful directly to society. Okay, so on the basis of this, we can say that it is an honest and exhaustive process. The facts are studied with understanding. When you are working, let us say, particularly for PhD, you are going to be a doctor of your subject. And doctor, you understand, means knows everything about the nerves of the patient. Okay, so it means the topic on which you are working, particularly for a degree like PhD, then you should have a deep knowledge of that. Don't go for a very broad topic, go for a narrow topic, but have its broader knowledge so that you can tell everything about that. You are a doctor of that subject. Okay. The facts are discovered in the light of problem. Research is problem centered mostly. You pick up a problem and then you take it, or fix a target and then take it. The findings are valid and verifiable. Research work should contribute new knowledge in that field. Okay. So on the basis of, then you may find more statements in the literature. If you go through internet or the media, that I have picked up some, and you may see more on literature for these type of definitions. But in nutshell, we can say that on the basis of these statements, we can fix some characteristics of research. What they are, main points are, the following characteristics may be gathered from the definition of research. It gathers new knowledge or data from primary or first-hand sources. through primary methods, means either you are performing experiment in your research, collecting some new data, or in the artificial environment, means through simulation you are working on a software, and then you are doing something to generate a new data. You are making a survey of the companies or survey of the population in your subject to gather the data, means some new data is, first-hand data is collected, and then some. It places emphasis upon the discovery of general principles. It is exact, systematic, and accurate investigation. You should have that confidence that it is accurate. It uses certain valid data gathering devices, means data from the device with which you are collecting data, or methods through which you are collecting data. They should be correct. Okay. It is logical and objective. The researcher resists the temptation to seek only the data that support his hypothesis. This is also very important thing, that sometimes if you are working on a project particularly sponsored or funded by a company, let us say, then in that case they give you a target that you have to do this thing for us. Means we are going to make such and such instrument, and you have to make a material for that, let us say, and that material should come out with these properties. If this is come out with a particular type of properties, then the instrument can be made. But when you are working on the project for 2-3 years, let us say, by the results or the properties of the materials are not in favor of that device. So then company will force you to modify your results, change your results in their favor. Now you are under pressure, because if you deny, then your funding will be stopped. Okay. So in that case, you should have that courage to resist the things, because honesty is very important in research. Because if you modify the results due to that pressure, it means they are the results or the properties you have reported are wrong, and on that basis they will make some instruments. They will fabricate some instrument. That instrument will give wrong observations, wrong results. And let us say if it is being used in a hospital, let us say a blood testing device or some device, it means that will give wrong results. So on the basis of that, doctor will prescribe the medicine. So wrong medicine. It means the life of the patients is at stake. So that should not be done at any cost. If your results are not in that favor, even then you can publish the paper and can get PhD can be awarded to you. But of course, the company will not be happy who is sponsoring. So that resistance you have to make. Okay. Similarly, if you are working on a problem like environmental study, environmental pollutants level study in different companies. Okay. Now, in some companies, the level are higher as compared to the recommended level. Now, you should have the courage to present those results. Okay. So they should not be changed under pressure. That honesty as a researcher at any stage, maybe you are a PhD scholar or a teacher working for research or a project, under a project you are working, but the results of the research should always be presented honestly. That is in the favor of society and the country. Okay. So if you are modifying the results, it means you are not a researcher. Okay. Honesty is required, right? The researcher eliminates personal feeling and preferences. When you are getting the results, your personal feeling, like there is some results, you say that, but I think it should be like this. No, what you are getting through the experiment, you should present that, right? It endeavors to organize data in quantitative terms. Just एक्चुअली मैं ऑफिस लिए नहीं कर रही कि एग्जाम चल रहे हैं ना, उधर से कोई कॉल आ जाती है, कर देता हूँ थोड़ी देर. Okay, then research is a patient and unhurried activity. Research ये नहीं है कि भी ये एक्सपेरिमेंट आज ही खत्म कर देना है, कैसे भी हो जल्दी जल्दी करके. No, it should not be done in hurry. It should be with patience, unhurried activity, so that there may not be wrong results, should not be wrong results. Okay. The researcher is willing to follow his procedures to the conclusions that may be unpopular and bring social disapproval also sometimes. Means there may be results of your research that society sometimes or someone may not like, but you have to present honestly. Okay. Research is carefully recorded and reported. Okay, there should not be any error. Conclusions and generalizations are arrived at carefully and cautiously. Means you are working on a particular problem with a particular instrument or a software, and on the basis of that you are getting some results. So on the basis of results only you make conclusions. Don't add more conclusions from your side or from your literature. When you have done the work, only on the basis of that you make the conclusions. Okay, so these are some of the main characteristics of research. Then the motivation in research, what motivates anyone to go for research. Okay. So there may be different motivations, right? Some of them, I have listed here. Like some points, the possible motives of doing research may be either one or more of the following. Okay, like I have listed them preference wise. Your preference may be different sometimes. Okay, desire to get a research degree along with its consequential benefits. Means you want a research degree like PhD degree, MTech degree, something, and on the basis of that you want to get some job, some promotion, etc. So what are the benefits out of that? That is always the main target. Okay. Then desire to face the challenge in solving the unsolved problems initiate research. This may be also be a motivation that there is some unsolved problem and you want to solve it, but it has less preference, right? Only if you are getting something, only then you take a problem. If you are not getting something, you will not take a problem, right? To get intellectual joy of doing something creative. You are doing something creative to solve a problem, and you from inner core of your heart, you feel better, right? Intellectual joy. Intellectual joy here means the other way also, that you can have the intellectual property in your name. Intellectual means earned from your mind. Okay, so that is in the form of IPR or copyright. So that is also a matter of preference. And if you are doing a work which is better than the earlier work or a new work, then you can always file a patent in your name. And you must be knowing that earning a patent is more than earning a degree or PhD. Okay, more value. If it is a good patent and it is commercialized, then you may get its commercial value more than your service done for 10 years or 15 years or 20 years. Okay, because that will be patented in your name. That, let us say you have made a device out of your research work and you file a patent and it is awarded in your name. So now any company which want to use this idea for making some product, they have to consult you, and then you will tell your value, that this is the cost of my product. Okay, so you may earn many things out of that. So that is intellectual property, right? IPR you call it, intellectual property rights. Okay. Desire to be of service to society. You want to serve society, so you want to do some, make some device, do some work, but it is less preference. Desire to get a respectability. Is you have earned a PhD degree, so you will be now doctor so and so. So that is respect in society, right? And there may be other motives also, like it may be sometimes a matrimonial degree for someone. That I will be a doctor, then will get a better match, right? So depends upon what type of preference you have, but at least one of them, or sometimes more than one, may be your preference for that purpose. Okay, so if we go a mixture of that, and then we can motivations we can have like this also, divide like this also, that they may be intrinsic or extrinsic. or personal or interpersonal? How? In these personal, intrinsic, or these we can include like this. If it is intrinsic, the love for work itself. Intrinsic motivations include interest, challenge, learning, purpose, creative flow, etc. Research has shown that high level of intrinsic motivation are strongly linked to outstanding creative performance. Okay, this is the observation. Extrinsic motivation, rewards for good work or punishments also sometimes for poor work, right? Extrinsic motivations include money you are earning, fame, awards, praise, status, etc. All this. Research shows that too much focus on extrinsic motivation can block creativity. If you only are running only for awards or money, then the creativity is of less preference. Then personal motivation, individual values linked to personality. Examples include power, harmony, achievement, etc. These things. Each of us prioritize, our priority is some values over the others. Understanding your own values and those of people around us is the key motivating yourself and influencing others. Interpersonal motivation, influences from other people. Much of our behavior is a response to people around us, such as coping, competition, collaboration, commitment, encouragement. So that is interpersonal. So in a way, you can compare like this, that if you have personal, interpersonal, and intrinsic, extrinsic, their combination, if we see that if you have personal and intrinsic, then personal satisfaction you will get. If it is personal and extrinsic, then personal rewards. Then if it is interpersonal and intrinsic, social interaction. And then if it is interpersonal and extrinsic, then public recognition. So all these are important actually. You should have a mixture of that at some level. You may be having the personal things at more preference, and at some stages when you have got degree and are in a job. So you should think of the society and interpersonal also. Okay. So these are the motivations. Then objectives. Objective means what type of objective you are taking for your research. They are also of different types. We can go through quickly. The research has the following three main objectives. The objectives can be theoretical in nature, factual in nature, or application objective. You as a student of science and engineering are mostly associated with application objective, that you want to make the application of the things which are touched. Theoretical objective, those researchers whose objectives are theoretical formulate new theories, principles, or laws. Such type of research is explanatory because it explains the relationship of certain variables. This type of research contributes some basic knowledge to existing human knowledge. This type of research is done mostly in the subjects like mathematics, physics, chemistry also, etc. may have theoretical objectives, right? Then factual means on the basis of facts. Those researchers whose objective is factual find out new facts. This objective is by nature descriptive. These researches describe facts or events which happened previously, such as research done in history. You have some historical monuments regarding that you are doing something. Okay. Then application objective. The research having application objective does not contribute to new knowledge to the existing human knowledge, but suggest new applications. Which you are not making new theories, new formulae, but you are applying this type of things for making some applications, some devices. By application, we mean improvement and modification in practice. For example, if anyone gives a new application of electricity, then such type of research is an application objective. Means maybe it is research work done by someone else, but you are using that research for making some device or some application for usefulness of the society. That is application objective. Then types of research on the basis of how we are performing it, how we are going to have the research. It may be basic in nature or applied in nature. Okay, basic means again the same thing, that involves developing, testing new theories, models, designs, correlation that may or may not have immediate application, but of immense importance from the point of view of development of the knowledge based in fundamental aspect, like you are proposing some model, some theory, you are making some new formula or modifying some earlier formula. That is basic research. Examples: new theory added to electromagnetic theory, development of analytical procedure to solve a highly complex mathematical model, contribution to number theory, etc. Applied research refer to the research carried out to derive a methodology, model, design, or analysis for problems that have immediate application. In case of applied research, the immediate application of anticipated solution dictates the problem for the research. Examples are given: developing a new, efficient, and compact instrumentation for wireless communication, or for any purpose, you can say. Just for example, these are given some examples. Okay. Then, based upon methodology, but method you are adopting for your research, you are working on a instrument, experimental research, or analytical tools you are using, or a numerical method you are using. So based upon that, we have experimental, analytical, and numerical. Experimental research is associated with experimental investigation of a process or theme using appropriate tools. Examples: investigation of flow behavior of a magnetic fluid in a magnetically resonated duct using appropriate instrumentation. Similarly, other examples will be there. Then this research, which one it is? Second one is associated with the development of models, analytical research, or solution to the problems using analytical tools. For example, solution to a set of partial differential equation using error function, development of analytical tool to collect and analyze data during the adoption of a new management strategy. Then numerical research is associated with the solution obtained for a practical problem using numerical tools. New numerical tools and procedures may be evolved during this process or are available for commercial numerical analysis, and software may be used for solve this problem. Examples are given, right? Yeah. Descriptive versus analytical. Descriptive research includes survey or fact-finding inquiries of different kinds. The major purpose of descriptive research is description of a state of affairs as it exists at present. In social sciences and business research, we quite often use the term ex post facto research for descriptive research studies. The main characteristics of this method is that the researcher has no control over the variables. He can only report what has happened or what is happening. आप भी इसी क्लास में? अच्छा. In analytical research, on the other hand, the researcher has to use facts or information already available and analyze these to make a critical evaluation of the material. Similarly, we can have a quantitative or qualitative. Quantitative means in terms of numbers, quantity, and then qualitative. Quantitative research is based on the measurement of a quantity or amount. It is applicable to the phenomena that can be expressed in terms of quantity. It can be further divided into these three groups: inferential approach, characteristics of a phenomena through collection of data; experimental approach, researcher deliberately changes some variables to know the causal effect. For example, effect of temperature rise on the plant growth under open sky, means you are deliberately changing some parameter to get a new data. Simulation approach, researcher artificially construct an environment and collects data. Artificial environment, you are working in that through a software, right? Qualitative research, on the other hand, is concerned with the qualitative phenomena. For example, phenomena relating to or involving quality of the thing or kind of the thing, right? Quality or kind. Then conceptual versus empirical means conceptual research is that related to some abstract ideas or theory. It is generally used by philosophers and thinkers to develop new concept or interpret existing one. Similarly, empirical research relies on experience or observation alone, often without due regard for system and theory. It is database research coming up with conclusions which are capable of being verified by observation or experiment. We can also call it as experimental type of research. And there can be some names given depending upon how we are performing the research, like one-time research or longitudinal. One time means we are performing the research only once, yeah, or we are repeating it for a long time or doing it for a long time. This one time means it is confined to a single time period, whereas the later case, research is carried over a several time. Research can be field setting research or laboratory research. You are doing a field survey or in the field or in a lab, depending upon that, or simulation research it can be. Research can as well be understood as clinical or diagnostic research if it is done for that purpose in hospitals. Exploratory and formalized research. The objective of exploratory research is the development of hypotheses rather than their testing, whereas formalized research studies are those with substantial structure and with specific hypotheses to be tested. Historical research, if it is related to that, utilizes historical sources like documents, remainings, etc. That is historical research. Okay, then what should be our criteria for good research? What we have to see that our research is good or not. So there are few points recorded that good research is systematic. In a systematic manner, step by step, you have to perform the research. Those steps we'll be discussing in the next part of this PPT. It means that research is structured with specific steps to be taken in a specified sequence in accordance with the well-defined set of rules. Means in steps, the steps which are you are following in research, they should be in sequence. Like we'll be discussing after a few slides that you have to, when you are starting your work, what you have to do initially. You have to go for literature survey, then fixing a problem, generalizing a problem, research design, then collecting data, analyzing. Those steps, step by step you have to go. Systematic characteristics of research does not rule out creative thinking, but it certainly does reject the use of guessing and intuition in arriving at conclusions in that case. Good research is logical. This implies that research is guided by the rules of logical reasoning, and the logical process of induction and deduction are of great value in carrying out research. Induction is the process of reasoning from a part to the whole, whereas deduction is the process of reasoning from some premise to a conclusion which follows from that very premise. In fact, logical reasoning makes research more meaningful in context of decision making. Good research is empirical. It implies that research is related basically to one or more aspects of a real situation and deals with concrete data that provides a basis for external validity of research result. It is replicable. Again, important thing, if you have done some work, it should be replicable. Someone should be able to repeat it, do it again. Okay. This characteristics allows research results to be verified by replicating the study and thereby building a sound basis for your decisions. That is important. Then the objective of the research is clearly defined, and research methodology used should be described in sufficient detail to permit another researcher to repeat the research for further advancement. Means when you will be writing a report of your research, like your thesis or a research paper, then particularly in research report, you should describe your methodology, what you have used, methods, what you have used, so that the further researcher can use that technique. The sampling design should be chosen such that to yield least error. Sampling design, you understand, is the how you are collecting the data, how many samples you are taking. Like if you are working on an instrument, how many readings you are taking for one, observations you are taking for a particular case. If more are the number of observations, you know, the possibility of error is less. Errors are reduced. So accordingly, you should choose that sampling design. The writing should be done with complete frankness. Where you are writing a report, nothing which has bearing on the results should be hidden. You should write the things, even if it is not useful for you, but it may be useful for the further researchers who are reading your thesis. If something you have, some problem you have faced during your research work, then you should also mention that problem in your work, such that the further researcher may not waste their time and money on that. Okay. The validity and reliability of data as well as calculations should be rechecked to avoid mistakes. What results and conclusions you are making should be cross-checked before presentation. Conclusions should be confined to those justified by data and analysis. What data you have produced and analyzed, on the basis of that only you have to make your conclusions. Researcher should be a person of integrity. That is again that thing that you have to work honestly. The people should rely upon you. Okay, then only you will make an image in the research environment or researcher community that he is the honest person. And after a few publications, if you are a long running person in the field of research, then when you are publishing, sending a paper for publication to a journal, then your previous record is online. Okay, so that tells your honesty and the work done by you. When you get a reputation of honesty in the community, scientific community, in that case, when you send a paper, it is quickly accepted and forwarded. If your image is such that he has done something bad, some data is copied or something like that, flag is there. So in that case, there may be problems. So honesty is very important. Integrity is very important. Significance of usefulness or significance of research. Research inculcates scientific and inductive thinking, and it promotes the development of logical habit of thinking and organizing. You'll feel, particularly before starting your PhD and after completing your PhD, you'll find a change. If you are not finding, then people will find a change in your behavior, that you have now more logical thinking and you are working in more organized way. Okay, which is inculcated during your research work, during your PhD work. Research provides the basis for nearly all government policies in our economic system. Actually, all policies made by government are based upon research basically. Research is backbone of industry, you must be knowing. And any policy and anything which is passed in parliament for any purpose, let us say some institute is to be given to a particular area, some medical college is to be built up in a particular area. So first of all, a committee is made to find out that what is the need, why it is needed. So that research is done. Similarly, in industry, there is always a research cell. So on the basis of that, the suggestions of that research cell only, they make some product or they go for some device. So research is always a backbone of the society or industry. Research has its special significance in solving various operational and planning problems of business and industry. Okay, so that is very important part of industry. Research is equally important for social scientists in studying social relationship and in seeking answers to various social problems. Okay? Social studies subjects also research is required and is very important in all disciplines, maybe science, technology, engineering, or social sciences. Okay. So this is one thing, one part of this, we call as the basics of research. the definition of research and the types of research, what the different people think about research, what are the main characteristics of research, types, and all the things. Okay. Then, as we have talked in the earlier slides, that we have to go through our research process in a scientific way. Step by step, we have to move. And that process of working step by step means in a systematic way, one after the other. That is called actually research methodology. That technique, or you can call it a research process, complete process for doing research. Well, that we want to discuss now, research methodology or a research process, you can call it. Okay. Research methodology, which in short we call as RM, okay, which is the name of the subject also, is a way to systematically solve the research problem. It is science of studying how research is done scientifically. Okay. In research methodology, we study various steps that are generally adopted by a researcher in studying his research problem along with the logic behind that, step by step. It is necessary for the researcher to know not only research methods or techniques, but also the complete methodology. Research methods means the steps. Let us say there are 5-10 steps. So those steps you should know, and with that the complete steps. Complete combination of all those steps is the methodology. Total methodology should be known, right? What are those steps? In the form of this diagram, you can block diagram, you can say, of those steps. So if you want to start your problem of, let us say, PhD or a project or something you want to do in research, then you define a research problem. Means first, what is being done when some of you have started your PhD work, that your supervisor suggests you some broad topic that you will be working on this topic. Let us say, for example, some topic, environmental sciences, material science, any topic. Okay. Then he asks you to go for literature survey regarding that, and then you narrow down your topic to a particular specific topic, which will be topic of your PhD or MTech or research. Okay. So that define research problem. For defining research problem exactly, you go for a review of literature. Now that review of literature is from different sources, that maybe some earlier thesis work done by earlier students or earlier researcher in your field. That the main source now is the internet. From internet you can get the information that regarding this topic, what I can do. Let us say your topic is related to environmental studies. Okay, so environmental study, if you put on Google, then there may be millions of papers. Okay, not only thousands. Okay, now in that, then you have to be specific, that what type of environmental study or what environmental pollutant you have to study, let us say. So if you put that also in that, let us say NOx. Okay, NOx, you understand, no? Nitrogen oxides, okay, as pollutants. So if you put that, even then you will get thousands of papers. Okay, now then you again narrow down the thing, NOx in this type of industry, let us say thermal power plants. Okay, then number of papers will be slightly less, and so on. So by narrowing down like this, you reach to a particular topic. And regarding that, then you go for extensive literature survey. Let us say you are given a topic that you have to study the concentration or the levels of NOx pollutants in thermal power plants of not total India. It will be a very big thing. Let us say Haryana, 5 thermal power plants or 6 thermal power plants in Haryana. So in that case, then your topic is narrowed down. Now, regarding that study, you go for extensive literature survey, that what has already been done regarding that topic. Maybe that topic is already studied by some researcher. Okay, like one of my students studied the thermal power plants of Haryana and Delhi for radioactive air pollutants. Okay, similarly, some may have studied for NOx, may have studied for SOx, like that. Okay, so you narrow down that topic and you clearly find out that what has already been done regarding this topic. That is very important. Extensive literature survey before starting the work is very, very important. And that I suggest particularly always to the research scholars who started their work, that you should not rely on anyone, even on your supervisor also. Regarding that literature survey, you have to do yourself. Sometimes the supervisor may also say this has already been done. No, you verify yourself. Because it is your responsibility to verify that what has already been done on the topic and what you need to do further. So that is extensive literature survey, and then you suggest to your supervisor and the DRC that this is the topic, means on the basis of literature survey, this has already been done on this topic. These are the gaps, means this is not done, that you report, and this, on the basis of that, you fix your objectives of the research, that this I will be doing during my research. That is the first main thing you have to do, right? So this is the defining a problem on the basis of review of literature and literature survey, literature analysis, you can call that. So on the basis of that, you formulate your hypothesis. Now it is a general word, hypothesis forming is a general word. It depends upon the type of work you are going to do. It is a simulation, this survey work, or this is a work on a material on the basis of which you want to make an instrument, some device you want to design. So you are fixing some target, that this I will be doing after performing my research work as an application of the work. Okay. So in this theoretical subject, mostly they call it hypothesis formulation, and after getting the data results, they verify that hypothesis. In your case, you may propose something, some application, and on the basis of your work, you may go for that application. Okay. Then depending upon that proposal, you design your research problem, sample design you can call it. Research problem designing means, again, I come to the same example, that you have to study the pollutants in 6 thermal power plants. Now you will decide that what device I will be using, what instrument I will carry for that purpose, how many samples I have to take from each thermal power plant, what locations I have to target. Okay, so that is the sample design of. If you are doing an experiment in the lab on an instrument, then what instrument I will be using, what readings, what type of observations I will be making to collect data. Let us say in a materials, it is electrical property, optical property, magnetic, mechanical, etc. So what properties you will be studying, that you have to fix first. And that fixing of the research design should be such that it is completed within time frame of your work. Let us say you are going for PhD, so 3 years or 4 years, what is the time available for you? Accordingly, you fix your sampling design. Okay. And secondly, you have, before finalizing that sampling design, you also fix, you see the possibilities, what instrument you will be using, is it available or not? If it is not available at my institute, is it available at some nearby institute so that I can use? If it is not available, then don't propose. Okay, otherwise you propose that it will be purchased in my institute in few days and I will work then your work will not be completed within time, because in the institutes, like particularly government institutes, it require a long time to make purchases. It takes years. You may be knowing that it takes years to purchase the instruments. So don't propose anything, particularly I am talking to PhD starters who are starting their PhD. So they should propose only those things which are available somewhere and can be used. Okay, after that, then you start collecting the data on that instrument or that software, if it is a simulation work or it is a survey work, depending upon the type of work, you start collecting the data. Okay, data collection devices should be reliable. Okay, methods should be reliable. Okay. Then after collecting the data, you analyze those results. If you have proposed a hypothesis, then you test the hypothesis. If you have proposed making an estimate, then you go for that. After analysis of the data, okay. Then you interpret the results on the basis of your analysis, and here you can go for your application. Now, there can be possibility that what you have proposed here, you are not achieving here. You have proposed that I will be making this device, but the results are not in its favor. So in that case, you have to go back. Either at the sample design, if data is less, then you have to propose the more data collection, or data collecting device you have to change, and then again perform these steps. If it is not in that case, it is not depending upon the data, it is altogether different, then you have to go back to the initial step. Okay, initial step means changing your topic. It is a big thing. Okay, or if it is not changing, slightly modifying your topic. So that can be done by through your supervisor and the DRC of the department. Then you can propose that I want to slightly modify my topic. Like you have proposed 4 pollutants, now you are able to do 3 only. So you can propose, you can make a request that please change, make a correction in my topic that I will be studying 3 pollutants. Similarly, in other cases also, you can suggest for some modification. So here you can take forward feedback as well as backward feedback also. Okay, backward means you can change the topic according to your results, or you can change your results according to your topic. Both ways you can. Okay. So this is a block diagram, and these steps in brief we can go through if time permits. What is the limit? No, not completing. Formulating the research problem I have discussed. Okay. The best way of understanding the problem is to discuss it with own colleagues or with those having some expertise in the matter. Okay. In an academic institute, the researcher can seek the help of the guide, who is usually an experienced man and has several research problems in mind. So initial input you take from your supervisor, the case topic, where you have to go, what should be your broad topic. The guide put forth the problem in general terms, and it is up to the researcher to narrow it down and phrase the problem in operational terms. In private business units or government organization, the problem is usually earmarked. Like I was telling that it is a project given by some industry, they will give you the topic that you have to work on this problem for us. Earmarked by the administrative agency with whom the researcher can discuss as to how the problem originally came about and what considerations are involved in possible solution of the problem. Extensive literature survey. This I was telling that what you have to do, you have to make, I am not reading all these things because time is limited, I have to complete many slides. So just I am telling that you have to gather the literature from different sources, internet, books, and all these things. Go to library, may be of help to you. Extensive literature survey, then working hypothesis, what I have told you. Then research design, you have to design, research design you have to make carefully. Research design is the arrangement of conditions for collection and analysis of data in a manner that aims to combine relevance to the research purpose with economy in procedure. Economy means cost also you have to see. If you propose, let us say, survey work to 10 industries, then the budget required, travel budget and other things are, a lot of expenses are required. So that budget you have to see your pocket first. Okay, no, because no one else is going to pay. You have to spend the money, right? So in fact, the research design is to be conceptual structure within which research is conducted. First, you have make a background map of the, like you are making a building map and you start making the building. So design, research design is that, right? It constitutes the blueprint for the collection, measurement, and analysis of data. So research design is answer to the following questions to investigate a problem. Means you are making a research design, so you should be able to answer these questions. What is this? What is the study about? What you are going to study? Okay. Why is this study being made? This is mostly the main question in your seminar. DRC is before the DRC. Why you are taking this study? What is the logic behind that? Okay. So why this study is being made? Why you are going for this study? Where will the study be carried out? Of course, you have to fix that. I will be studying, carrying out the data collection in industry or in the lab or through simulation. That you have to fix. What type of data is required? That you have to fix. Where can the required data be found? What period of time will the study include? How much time will be required for collecting your data? That is also important, particularly when you are working for MTech or PhD, depending upon your available time. What will be the sample design? Means how many observations you will make? What techniques of data collection will be used? Of course, you have to analyze first. How will the data be analyzed? Analysis of data, you'll be plotting graphs, making tables, how it will be analyzed. And then in what style will the report be prepared? That is there. Okay. Then preparing the research design, there are several research designs. These are just the type of designs, formal design or informal design. I may not go through that. Okay, these are sample design, observational design, statistical, and like that. So I will share the PPT with you. You can read them just. The design should be that the means of obtaining the information, the availability and skill of the researcher in the staff, explanation of the way in which selected means of obtaining information will be organized, and reasoning leading to the selection, time available for research and cost also, that I will discuss with you. Collection of data, the technique through which you are collecting the data, though that will be finalized in your case, but depending upon the type of work, actually, the data should be collected. The primary data can be collected either through your, if you are performing experimental work, so it will be through your instrument, or through survey, if it is a survey work. If the researcher conducts an experiment, he observes some quantitative measurements or the data with the help of which he examines the truth contained in the hypothesis. vague expressions such as it seems, there may be, and like. Means when you have done the work, completed the work, then you should not say like this, it appears to me like this. No, it is like this. Okay. So vague expressions. What happened? Yeah. Okay, and charts and illustrations in the main report should be used only if they present the information more clearly and forcibly. Okay, one back. Okay, and then calculated confidence limits must be mentioned, and various constraints experienced in conducting research operations may as well be stated. What problems you have faced during your work, those should also be mentioned somewhere. Okay, it's just in brief. Okay. Otherwise, you have several PPTs on this part only. Then problems encountered by researcher in India. Some problems you must be knowing. The lack of scientific training in the methodology of research is a great impediment for researchers in our country. Now it is almost solved. Earlier it is a earlier thing that when research methodology was not taught in the coursework or in PhD. If I talk about, before 2010 or like that, then the researcher when enrolled for PhD directly comes to the lab and start working without any literature survey and following these steps. So many problems were faced at that time. So if you are going step by step, means first you are verifying through the literature that what type of work is already done in my field, then it will not be repeated. Okay, so that is must to update yourself, and for that purpose, most of the time, I give a suggestion to the researchers, though all are not agreeing for that, try to write a review paper on your topic before starting the actual work. You make an extensive literature survey. On the basis of that survey, you write a review paper. Review paper means what earlier authors, earlier workers, researchers have done in this field. A summary of that in slide, short. And in the last, you write some conclusions on the basis of your experience that this has already been done, and this is not done. So someone can do this work now in future. So that is called a review paper. And if you are able to write a review paper on your topic, then you are actually now become a master of that topic. Now you are not needed to take or consult anyone regarding that topic. You can do yourself. But this is a little exhaustive work, requires some effort from your side, because you have to collect at least 40, 50, 60 research papers in the field. You have to see what they have done. You have to record them in that paper, write that paper. All the references are to be mentioned. So it may be a 30, 40 pages thing. But it is always appreciated even by the editors of the journals. The review papers are published in very good impact factor journals, 7, 8, 9. My students, 3, 4 students have already published the review papers in 7, 8, 9 impact factor before starting the work. So I always suggest, if you want to do actually a good work during your PhD, try to write a review paper during your coursework, 6-month time. And if you are able to do that, it will be a very good thing for you. It is always appreciated. Even after doing your PhD, it will be appreciated. Because if you have, let us say, published 2 more papers on your work, even then, if in an interview you are telling that I have written a review paper also on this topic, then that will be appreciated more as compared to your experimental papers. Because writing a review paper means you have read everything about your topic. Okay, so that is a very good thing if you can do that. And those of you who are in teaching already, try to suggest your students who are coming for PhD that they should proceed like this. So after review paper, if you proceed for PhD work, then there will be no problem faced regarding that there is a repeat work or like that, right? Then there is insufficient interaction between the university research department on one side and business establishment, government departments and research institutions on the other side. How much time I have? Half an hour more, I can take. Okay, then. Most of the business units in our country don't have the confidence that the material supplied by them to researcher will not be misused, and as such they are often reluctant in supplying the needed information to researchers. They don't have confidence. They mostly think, industry people, that they will misuse our resources for other purposes. If they have confidence, for that purpose, there should be interaction between the researchers and the industry persons. Only then they can tell their problem, and accordingly the work can be modified. The research studies overlapping one another are undertaken quite often for the want of adequate information. This can be avoided by extensive literature survey. Overlapping thing can be avoided, right? There does not exist a code of conduct for researcher, and inter-university and interdepartmental rivalries are also quite common. This is a very bad thing, but it exists actually. There are what you call as jealousy between the researchers. So they don't cooperate with each other many times. Some of them cooperate, but if someone is using want to use a instrument in other department, and he is approaching the department lab that I want to use this instrument, the most of the time the reply is either it is busy or not working. Okay, but the thing is that now government has also made effort to centralize the things, that all the instruments are now on a platform, means the list is uploaded on the websites, and anyone working for research can use instrument in any lab, particularly government labs in the country. Maybe there is some payment or there may be some waiting time, but they cannot deny. No one can deny. If it is purchased from the government grant, no one can deny. There can be a queue that there may be 10 people in waiting and your number may be after 1 month, but you can use that instrument, any instrument of your choice. Okay. So that should not be there, that rivalry or that type of thing. Sometimes a very bad thing happens in the labs, that one person is working, other is not able to work due to fault in his instrument. So next day, the instrument of the other is also not working. Due to that, the other student has done something in that. He has done the work. I will see how he is doing. Okay, so this type of jealousy and rivalry should not be there, right? Researchers in our country also face the difficulty of adequate, timely secretarial assistance. No, it is not now a problem. Computers are available, particularly like the institution like ours. Just back. Library management and functioning is not satisfactory in many places, though our library is a good library, has got award of best library in North India 2 times. Okay, but how many of you are visiting the library? I don't know, but you should visit and use some facilities there. There are many facilities, but most of the time the research scholars are visiting at the last, when they have to check their report for plagiarism in library after completing the thesis. Okay, so try to visit earlier also. There are many books available. There is also the difficulty of timely availability of published data and from various government and other agencies doing this job in our country. Sometimes you are not able to get that if we require. So that topic in short I have discussed, though I take 5 to 6 lecture up to the topic up to here while teaching in the class. Okay. And in the last, I want to tell few things about ethics and values in research, which is very, very important thing you should follow. Okay. and you should take care, otherwise you will be in a problem many times, right? Ethics and values. Ethics is the science of morals, or a set of principles that control or influence a person's behavior. Ethics, okay? Moral values. Values are beliefs about what is right or wrong. The sense of values is an essential attribute of human consciousness, which promote quest for common goodness. Ethics and value form an integral part of good education. That is why moral value paper is taught in schools also. Okay. Ethics, sometimes known as philosophical ethics, ethical theory, moral theory, and moral philosophy by different names, is a branch of philosophy that involves systemizing, defending, and recommending concepts of right and wrong conduct. What is right, what is wrong? If you are able to distinguish, then you are ethical. Philosophical ethics investigates what is the best way for human to live and what kind of actions are right or wrong under particular circumstances. The meaning of ethics given by different persons. The Cambridge Dictionary of Philosophy states that the word ethic is commonly used interchangeably with morality, moral values. And sometimes it is used more narrowly to mean the moral principles of a particular tradition, group, or individual. Various philosophers explored importance of ethics and values, like Gandhian thought. Gandhiji said that being good and maximize the goodness for a great number is ethics. And for that he mentioned 7 sins, that if you are not following these, it means it is a sin. Okay, it is a bad thing. Politics without principle, if someone is doing, it is a sin. Okay, but you see that it is not followed many times. Wealth without work, if you are getting money without working, that is also considered to be a sin. Okay, but again it is a reverse, that we want that our job should be in a government organization. Earlier it was impression, now the government organizations, in government organizations also we are working 8 in the morning to 7 in the evening. Okay, but it is impression still that in government schools or government institutes you need not to work much and getting a good salary. So that is why they want government job, right? But wealth without work is a sin. Pleasure without consensus. Knowledge without character. If you are not having a good character, then your knowledge is a waste. Commerce without morality. Commerce means business here. Science without humanity. If you are not knowing the human value, that your science is waste. Worship without sacrifice. These are 7 sins which are given by Gandhiji, and if you enter our director's office, then these are written there also on a flex sheet. Okay, so this is very important. Einstein, the great scientist, you are aware with. He said, within quotes, our time is distinguished by wonderful achievements in the field of scientific understanding and technical application of those insights who cannot cheered by this. But let us not forget that human knowledge and skill alone cannot lead humanity to a happy and dignified life. Humanity has every reason to place the proclaimers of high moral standards and values above the discoverers of objective truth. And he further says, within quotes, a student must acquire a sense of morality. Otherwise, with his specialized knowledge, he will more closely resemble a trained dog than a developed person. Right? So it means you have some morality, only then you are a good person. Otherwise, you are like this. The International Federation of Account providing the following working definition, that principle, values, standards, or rules of behavior that guide the decision, procedure, and system of an organization in a way that contributes to the welfare of its key stakeholder, means which are who are the stakeholders of the institute or a industry, they should get benefited. So it should be for their welfare. Like if you are in a educational institute, the students, the employees, and all the stakeholders the work should be for their welfare. Respect the rights of all the constituents affected by its operation. Okay. Then classification, we can classify ethics in different ways, like based upon particular subject, the fundamental ethics, common to all. There are some ethical rules which are common for all in any personal ethics based upon individual beliefs, how you believe in the things. Societal ethics evolved between different societies, cultures, religions, professions. Professional regulations ethics based on the practice of a particular profession, like doctors, engineers. Subject ethics, like in engineering, medical, IT, agro, all have some ethics, like in some cases, a oath is administered when they are getting the degree or you are getting the degree, a oath is given that you have to use your degree obtained honestly, and honestly you have to work. Particular for doctors, there are ethical rules which they have to follow. In others also, there are some ethical rules. This is very important thing for you, all of you and us, that ethical misconduct in science and technology research are happening. They should not happen. Otherwise, anyone at any time of your career may be in a problem. Okay, what they are. The ethics is most necessary for people engaged in research and development, that is students and academicians, to procure the honesty, fairness, reliability, loyalty, wisdom, and humanity. What they are? For academicians and researchers, following may be the research misconduct taking place. There are three we can discuss in short: fabrication of data, falsification of data, and plagiarism. What they are? Fabrication of data. Fabrication is considered a form of scientific misconduct and regarding as highly unethical. Any of the following may be considered as scientific misconduct. What they are? Outwriting synthesis of experiment data or experimental data, reporting data which were never conducting, referred as dry labbing also, means you have not done any experiment in lab and making some data sitting on your computer, that these are my readings, this is my graph, you have not done the experiment. So that is called fabrication of data, which is highly unethical, and if caught any time before or after award of your degree, even after award of degree, if it is proved that your data is fabricated, which you have presented in your degree, this thesis, then your degree may be taken back. There are many cases, many reports in the literature. You can see on the internet also, right? Fusing or outright manufacture of experimental data, international portrayal of independent events as dependent you are showing. In addition, there are some unintentional or malpractice which can be difficult to distinguish from intentional fabrication. For example, failure to account for measurement error. You are working on an instrument honestly, but you are not checking that there is some error in the instrument. So unintentionally, there is some problem. False data is generated. Failure to control experiment for the parameters being measured is, let us say, you are taking observations on an instrument, and there is a change in temperature due to the environmental conditions. And with change in temperature, the readings are changing, and you are not making corrections for that. So these are some unintentional things which may happen. Fabrication also occurs in context of graduate and PG studies when the student fabricate a laboratory or home assignment. Such cheating, when found, handled by instruction and does not become a scandal with larger academic community, means they actually things starts at that level UG, PG level, and then if they are allowed, students are allowed at that level to do copying or making fabricating data, then this habit is propagated for PhD and research also. So that is a bad thing. Fabrication is most serious form of scientific misconduct that scientists can be engaged in, and finding that a scientist engaged in fabrication often mean to end his academic career and previous earned credentials taken away if at any stage it is about. This one example is given. His Hendrik Skolin was stripped of his doctorate degree by University of Kansas after a committee formed by Bell Labs found him guilty of fabrication related to the research done during his employment there. Okay, so the research degree was taken back after it is proved that the data is fabricated and presented in the thesis. Then second main misconduct is falsification of data. A slight difference is that you are working on the instrument. Now you are taking some observation. Now those observation readings data is not suiting to your hypothesis, means what you want to do. Now you intentionally change the data, modify the data, manipulate the data. That is falsification. It is a practice of omitting or altering the research materials, equipment, data, or process in such a way that the result of the researcher are no longer accurately reflect in the finding and the data that he alter in favor of his finding. This is most serious offense as it challenges the credibility of everyone and everything involved in research effort. If some wrong thing intentionally you are doing, it means everything after that, if it is presented in the thesis, then on the basis of that some instrument is formed and that is sent for some application again. So everything will be wrong. Okay, so long lasting effect. This makes difficult for scientists to move forward as it is unclear to everyone that if anything is true and can be trusted. The trust is gone. It leads to students and colleagues to waste their time, effort, and research investigation to dead ends. Then plagiarism, you must have heard plagiarism. Okay. Again, very important thing to know that it is to be taken care, and for that we have softwares also to check. Taken from Latin word plagiaris, to denote something stealing someone else's work, was pioneered by Roman poet Martial, who complained that another poet has kidnapped his verses. Theft of literature. This word was used in English in 1601 by dramatist Ben Jonson to describe as plagiary means something guilty of literacy theft. The dictionary meaning of plagiarism is wrongful appreciation, close imitation, copying, this something, prolonging and publishing of another author language, thought, idea or expression and representation of them as one's own original work. Means someone is taking from others' literature, others' work and claiming that it is my work. That is wrong. The things can be used from other works by citing them, by giving their reference, by acknowledging them, or by taking their permission. But if you are claiming, someone is claiming that it is my work, then it is. Sorry. Original work, right? Then the publishing the data of other without giving appropriate credit and acknowledgement to him is plagiarism. The publishing of own data, which is already published under a copyright without the permission of copyright holder, is also plagiarism. You have published a paper in a journal from a part of your research work. Now, when you publish, send the paper to a journal and it is accepted, then before publication is published in the journal, before that, the editor of the journal or the publisher ask you for transferring the copyright. For that, you have to fill up a form. It means you have transferred the rights to the journal. Now it is not your property. You cannot make any commercial use of it. You can use it for your academic purpose only, but you cannot commercialize it or cannot use further for other publications. If you are using in the next paper the same thing, it means it is plagiarism. Okay, without their permission or like that. Some part of that you can use in other paper, like if you have used some instrument, in the next paper also you are generating data from the same instrument. Now details of that instrument you can use, but for that purpose you just have to take permission from that publisher in which you have published the earlier paper. And it is given, not a problem. They will not deny, right? Self-plagiarism or recycling, fraud or duplicate publication. Self-plagiarism is from own. It is the reuse of significant, identical and nearly identical portion of their own work already published without acknowledging the original one. It is also called duplicate or multiple publication. It is most common in university students where they rephrase and republish their own work and tailoring it for different academic journal and newspaper articles mostly. The one paper is published, a part of them is sent to some paper, newspaper, etc. Okay. Such an article may be rejected prior and post publication also. If caught and your paper, second paper is published by chance, then it is proved later on that it is copied from the first one, then it can be cancelled again, right? Taken back. This is as one of the aim of the peer review is to prevent this type of recycling and duplication. And it is sent to reviewer, they also check it for plagiarism. Now we have the software in our institute also. We have done it in software to check the plagiarism of the papers, okay, or the thesis also. Though there are few things, I told that there may be some instrument which is being used by other researchers also. So description of that instrument will of course be matching. Okay, so that is why some relaxation is given. Like in thesis, we have given 20% relaxation of matching. But if it is more than 20, then it is not accepted. Okay. UGC, I think, have given only 10%. 10% relaxation only, right? Most common type of different types of plagiarism. Okay. I have some time. Okay. When analyzing whether something is an act of plagiarism, the determination of whether it was intentional or unintentional plays an important role. Sometimes it may also happen then your intention was not like this, you are making the copy of the other's literature, but unintentional. But how to know that is intentional or not? Because software will not be able to recognize this thing. That is why knowledge about plagiarism with respect to the gravity and frequency of plagiarism, a survey of scientific researcher has produced a ranking of plagiarism types. While complete plagiarism represents the most serious offense, paraphrasing is the one that is the most common. It is thus very important to consider and understand various types of plagiarism and how they occur. Complete plagiarism is completely copied. Complete plagiarism is the most severe form of plagiarism, where a researcher takes a manuscript or study that someone else created and submitted under his or her name. It is that amount that to intellectual theft and stealing. But it can happen only before publication. That you have stolen something from others' work and published before he had published, right? This also happens. So have to be careful. Source-based plagiarism. Plagiarism may occur because of the different types of sources. For example, when a researcher references a source that is incorrect or does not exist, it is a misleading citation. Means sometimes you give a citation and that is not correct. Information. Both these types lead to an increase in the number of reference sources. This in turn increases the citation number of the references. Data fabrication and falsification also comes under this category. Just discuss. the Hungarian president was forced to resign after plagiarism accusation. He was found guilty of plagiarism, and he was forced to resign his seat. Okay, and there will be many internet if you search for plagiarism theft or plagiarism cases. So you'll find many, and many degrees, PhD degrees, MTech degrees are also taken back if they are found guilty of plagiarism, particularly the falsification and fabrication of data. Fabrication of data is most serious, because you are not doing anything and making data. It means you are blunder. Okay, most serious offense. So you have to be careful about these misconducts in research, particularly for science and technology. But in all, there are subjects in which these things earlier actually it used to be happen in some subjects like literature and history, etc., that they pick up some thesis from the library and write, modifying those and presenting and getting the degrees. But now it is not possible, because everything is online now, and plagiarism is checked by the software, so it is not possible. So that old saying is now not true. Okay, that the definition of research sometimes was given at that time, that it is old wine in new bottle. Okay, old wine in new bottle means okay, now it is not. So that is there, right? So lastly, we have this thing, that 6 pillars of character suggested in, you may find it, this slide. Be reliable, have the courage to do the right thing, build a good reputation, be loyal, stand by your family, friends, and countries. This is trustworthiness. Then respect, treat others with respect, follow the golden rule, be tolerant and accepting of differences, use good manners. Sometimes we speak which may hurt others, so you have to take care. Responsibility, do what you are supposed to do. That is important thing. Duty is assigned. Plan ahead, always do your best, use self-control. Very important. Anger, okay? Be self-disciplined, think before you act. Then fairness, play by rules. Okay, with rules or by rules. It has double meaning actually. Play by rules means follow the rules or don't follow. Follow the rules, okay. By rules को opposite भी ले लेते हैं ना कहीं. Be open-minded, listen. Don't blame others carelessly. Fault किसी एक ने किया, दूसरे पे blame is put on others. Or what you duty which is assigned to you. That involved in community affairs also. Stay informed. You should have information. Vote. I make it bold. Very important. Any type of try to do your voting right, because all the policies for you the neighbors, your neighbors are disturbed by that thing. So this type of thing we should take care. We should protect always. That is this, and then thank you. Okay. Need to say more? आगे चलना नहीं? Okay, so any type of discussion I will like, any point we want to everything is not it is not possible that to ask questions, and if you are not interacting or asking questions, then there are two cases. That one is that you have understood everything, or you have understood nothing. So thing is literally सब चीजें समझ is not possible. And these things I have discussed in short. Those of you who have attended RM classes in my lectures, so we have like details, literature survey in detail. The shortage of time means it requires total, I think, 10 lectures, 10 hours. So it is, I think, 5 lectures work I have done here in short. Okay. Lectures in class. They're going to a teaching job or a industrial job. Many times think that may have got, but your inner satisfaction will be when you are getting at your due to your talent or due to your effort. Maybe some minor things may happen, but the main thing that you will get the satisfaction from the core of your heart when you are doing the either it is research or teaching or anything. From the core of your heart, you are doing honestly, and particularly your duty, which is assigned to you. I remember many times I got this example before in the class also. That I was attending a session of Indian Science Congress. Time Indian Science Congress, you have heard? Okay, it is the last conference, and it held an sorry, 3 to 7 January. Dates of this conference, venue only changes. It is funded by technology. So funding is given by them. This time, I think it is at Nagpur. So this is the first main function. Inaugurate in the new year, 3rd of January, and on 5th, President $20,000 participants. And last I attended in 4 years back. So at that time it was 20,000. I am a life member of that. So in that I was citing that example of Dr. APJ Kalam. He was there in the on 5th of January addressing the delegates of the conference. Have a separate address of the Children Congress. Okay, so in that Children Congress, that school children were invited, and after his lecture, they are asked to ask questions. They are given time to ask questions. Okay, so one question I remember still and was want to tell you. We, the students, can contribute to make India a developed country. At that time, a book came from Dr. Kalam, India 2020, something like that. Okay. So how we can contribute towards that India become a developed country from a developing country. So the reply of Dr. Kalam was very nice, and I appreciate that. He said that you need not to do anything extra. The work which is assigned to you by society or by your parents or by your teachers, do it honestly. If everyone do their work honestly, then India will become developed country. Like you as student, do your studies honestly. The teachers take their classes regularly and honestly, teach honestly. Similarly, other workers, they all should work honestly and do their duty honestly. Then no one can stop to become India a developed country. That was the reply. So that is what is needed actually from all the fronts, that try to do your work honestly, and ultimately you will feel that what I have achieved, maybe I have not got a good wealth, means a lot of money I have not earned, but the satisfaction from my inner core of heart I have earned is invaluable, don't have any value. So I can give my example. For example, I started, my birth is from a village in district Sonipat, small village. Parents were illiterate, farmers, means not educated much. No guidance from the family. Started schooling from the village, not a problem. Try to do something on the self. So then did my graduation from Hindu College Sonipat, BSc. Then I was not known after this what to do. Because no one was there to guide. So I heard that there is something MSc is there after BSc. So I applied in Kurukshetra University for MSc. So did a good work there, means try to do a good hard work there. So there were some limitations due to rural background, but no one can stop you to work hard, either it is rural or urban, or you are rich or poor, you can work hard. So got a degree of MSc with a good position from Kurukshetra University. Then got a assignment. No one was knowing, no political background, no backing, no one was knowing. Then got a, when I was doing my, after MSc, I joined MPhil program. MPhil was a degree like MTech after MSc in Kurukshetra University itself. It was a 1 year program only at that time. So at that time, I felt that now I should be independent and should not take money from the parents. So I applied for a job in University College in Kurukshetra University. It was a temporary job. So due to hard work in MSc, actually in that interview, chairman of the department also sits with principal of the college and some other experts. So when interview was there were some PhD completed candidates also. There was one post only. And when chairman of the department commented that I want to take this fellow, me, why? Other people, principal asked why. When PhDs are there, why you want to take this? So he quote my work done during MSc, my punctuality at MSc, and that all that. So I got that. And at that time, actually, it was a transition period of pre-engineering, pre-medical to +2 system. +2 classes were there in University College at that time. So I was teaching that class. My first class was pre-engineering class. I remember room number 65 of University College, 85 student strength, very good students, interactive students. So long back, year बताऊंगा तो कहेंगे इतने बूढ़े हो गए हो. 1985. 85. I did my MSc in 84, MPhil in 85. I was doing MPhil also at that time. So I did a lot of hard work with that class. And as a result of that, the topper, three toppers were from that class. University toppers, and one topper I still remember, Anurag Mahesh was the student. He got 94% marks. 94 उस time का आप समझ सकते हैं. And it was a record score of the university and unbreakable record क्योंकि उसके बाद +2 system शुरू हो गए. Engineering में unbreakable record था. And in physics he got 146 marks out of 150. Okay, out of 150. अब तो पूरे भी आ जाते हैं. तब 70% के टॉपर होते थे. Topper mostly was of 70%, 75%, 80 maximum. So next year when for the same post when interview was called, so the chairman said no need of interview, you take the same candidate. And anyway, formality was done and I got that job also. Then, but it was not a regular job. I tried the job, then I got a job in college. A few years I was there. And at that time, I thought that I should move to some higher institute. So there were regular interviews in university. I applied from college, I applied. Then was not selected. And you can better know that why it was not there. I was not having PhD degree, one thing. Second, no backing, no political approach. So someone else got that. Then I thought that I should go for PhD degree. So I start working in a college. I was in a college at Ladwa is a place at Yamunanagar Road. I was in a college there. It was a small college, no research facility. I start working first theoretically and then talk to some persons for a guide. Then applied for a fellowship to UGC at my own, no links. So I got that. In 1998, I got that. Then I did the PhD from here at NIT. Within 23 months, I completed my PhD. तब ये था rule कि अगर आप if you don't have any MTech or PhD degree, you can submit the thesis in 3 years. If it is you are having MPhil or MTech, then 1.5 years. Okay, so I was awarded 2 years leave by UGC with fellowship, with salary actually, and I completed the work within 23 months with 9 publications. 9 publications, and I still remember one of my publication in radiation measurement. And it was published within 15 days without any comments, without any revision. And it was one of the top 10 journals of Elsewhere in that year. I still have a certificate for that. So it motivated me for research. So it was appreciated and I got a degree. And then on the basis of that degree, I applied to NIT few years after. And in 2007, I was selected without any knowing. No one in the interview board was known to me. My supervisor at that time, Professor Chakravarti, for a month he was abroad to Germany. So I got that without any approach. Why I am telling this, that hard work matters later or sooner. Time lag sakta hai thoda sa, but it gives you something. So then I came here, I joined here on 5th February 2008 at NIT Kurukshetra. And after that, I start taking projects and guiding research scholars. And till date, 23 PhDs are completed under my supervision within 13 years. You can compare the time span, 13 years, 23 PhDs, around 100 now MTechs, and 10 research projects are completed. So that is the honestly or seriously doing the work. No, for any type of project, UGC, when I applied for UGC fellowship, तो ये था कि भी वहाँ पे तो पैसा चलता है, वो उसके बगैर कुछ नहीं करते. ठीक है, अभी नहीं आएगा तो क्या बात है, I may not get, so but I got it. Okay, it is not always that everything is done by that approach only. So some contents are also seen in the work. And after that, what happened actually, it was I got another project from UGC for my research student. It was a 3 years project. So it was a system earlier in UGC that if you are not approaching there, they are not releasing the fellowship. Okay. So I was, means some money you give them, or you go there or do that. I told my student that if you have problem of fellowship, I will give you money for your expenditure in the hostel. But your fellowship will come in February, because there is a rule of the government that at the end of financial year, they have to clear the account. It is audited. So they have to give the money of the project in March, April. So every year I was getting in March, February or March. So that time, at that time, the student was getting all the amount of the fellowship, and I am free of mind. Why I should go there and give money to them? So that way, honestly, if you are doing, you will get something. That is one thing. So by that procedure, I am satisfied from myself, from my inner core of heart, that I have gained everything without any approach or by without giving any money to anyone for this purpose. Maybe late I got, maybe by other means I may have got this job 5-10 minutes or 10 years earlier, but okay, not a problem. So this satisfaction when someone has, that is very good. So you will get something if you are honestly working, you will get something later or sooner. It may be a few years late. It may not be higher position. It may be some lower position. Then make effort and go for that. Okay, so anything else? एक और चीज मैं जो कहना चाहता था, don't take in your mind. Sometimes I try to support the students from rural background many times, because there is a feeling in those students who are coming from villages earlier, not now. Now the villages are also advanced. Okay, that they are not good at English. And so they cannot do a good work. Not like that. They can improve. One of my students, I will not name here, but he was very poor in English when he took admission in PhD. So he was very guilty in that sense. I will not be able to write a good paper and like that. But I encouraged him that you make effort yourself. First write something, give to me. I will correct it. But from those corrections, you try to learn. These are the corrections. Next time, those mistakes should not be there. And he followed. And after 1-2 paper, he started writing a paper in which there was rarely any mistake. Okay, so anyone can learn. And the students from that background, out of 23 students, more than 10 are from rural background I have guided. And they have done better job than the others, better work than the others, because they have habit of doing hard work and honest work. They don't know manipulation must. So they can do better. So don't keep in mind that I cannot do this. Everyone can do everything. Every work can be done by anyone. So don't think yourself, or any one of you should not think that I am not able to do this, that, like that. Okay. So yeah. Okay then. Thank you very much. I enjoyed this thing and meeting you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Sir has given wonderful idea behind this research methodology. So if you have any query, you can ask here.
Yes.
I want to know something more about UCG and
UGC.
NIT.
Okay. Differences.
What are these organizations?
Organization. University Grant Commission is actually a, you can say, a body which controls universities functioning. All the universities in India which are approved, means there is a approval given by them after inspection. If some new university is coming up, maybe a private university or government university. So after inspection, if some minimum criteria is followed, minimum infrastructure, minimum staff is there, then it is approved by UGC. And there is a list at the UGC website that these universities are approved by UGC. So they give different type of funding to universities, as well as to teachers, faculties, and to students also. Maybe many of you are not aware that if you want to attend a conference abroad in other country, you can get a funding from UGC as well as from DST, CSIR, any agency. What is the requirement is that you send an abstract to a conference which is being organized, let us say, by any country, France, USA, any country. And if it is accepted there, then there is a form available at the website of the UGC, CSIR, as well as DST and other organizations also. So you can apply for funding. Funding for travel, airfare, both ways. Registration fees, because registration fees is also in euro and dollars, so it is also high, means let us say 200 euro even. So will be 15,000-20,000 rupees. Your hotel stay, all are funded. And once in 3 years at least, it is your right, you can get it. You will get it if you apply. If once it is failed, next time you can apply to some other country. So when I was in that college even at Ladwa, I attended 2 international conferences, one at China and second at Spain, which were funded by the UGC. So they give the funding, and particularly for faculty, they cannot deny. And but to faculty, they give only the travel and the registration fees. The stay they have to arrange. Okay, but to students, they pay for stay also. Okay, so anyone who is interested to attend a conference at other country can try during their PhD period. Only the thing is that if they sanction you the airfare and all the things, means if your proposal is approved, then a letter will come and you can arrange your plan your visit to that place. But initially you have to pay. When you will come back, you will there is a form available. With that you will attach your bills. Bills means the ticket and all this, and it will be, you will get it within 1 month. Only this is the thing, right? And similarly, AICT is for technical educations actually. Now they are thinking of merging it with UGC. Government is thinking. So All India Council of Technical Education it is, you know. So only engineering colleges were under AICT. Now they are going to have a single body. Government is thinking like this, that they will be under that also. So functions of these organizations, almost AICT, this UGC are similar, but that is for technical education. This is for all universities, including technical education also inside the universities.
PhD in engineering college will be awarded by AICT or UGC?
They are not awarding PhD. PhD is awarded by the universities. Like if you are at NIT, PhD is awarded by NIT, not by MHRD, because our institute is funded directly by MHRD. NITs and IITs and central universities, they are funded by MHRD, right? So the degree is always awarded by institute, college, this university. If you are someone is working in a college under a university, then degree will be of university. Like Kurukshetra University you have. So there are several colleges under this. So all will get degree of the Kurukshetra University. Okay, so that is there. So that university should be approved either by UGC or AICT or MHRD.
Exactly, I read one article in the UGC has declared now it is not mandatory to publish journals in PhD. Will be awarded without publishing those journals. Is it right?
I don't think. मेरे नॉलेज में नहीं है एक्चुअली. I don't know. ऐसा है कुछ? But again that will be valid for universities only. This is governed by MHRD, IIT and NIT, and they have their own statute, means their own rules. Even if they say that it is not required, then even then IITs and NITs will force to do that, because the development of these institutes is by that only. Okay. जब से NIT में 2 पेपर कंपल्सरी किया है, तब से रैंकिंग इम्प्रूव हुई है और पब्लिकेशन बढ़े हैं, because you are forced to do at least 2 papers in your PhD. Earlier it was not there, so the people were getting degree without publishing the papers. That is not a good thing, I suppose. It may be a good thing for students who quickly want to get the degree, and particularly part-time researchers, they want that it should be quick. But for development of the student as well as the institute, there should be publication, good quality publication. And if you are a regular scholar, then you should publish some good papers. And my suggestion is at least 3 to 4 good papers you publish before submitting your thesis, because that is a backbone of your thesis. If your papers are good, when your thesis is going for review to the reviewer, at first sight they see 2-3 things. One is what is the title and objective of your research, then the publication. If you have 3-4 good publication in good impact journal, then they will go like this. They will not read all the things. Within 10-15 days they send the report. Okay. If you don't have good publications, then they will take more time, they will give more comments, it may come for revision also. As a controller of examination, I have this experience to observe the thesis of different students. So we are getting reports within 15 days also, without any comments, without any revision. And we are getting in 1 month and 1.5 and 2-3 months also, in which case all the thesis is colored. They make this correction, make this correction, make this correction. So that comes when you publish the paper, then those papers are in your chapters. So it is already, they know that it is already reviewed by good reviewers. So no need to check that. So try to publish some good papers before submission of the thesis. That will be in your favor. Otherwise, मेरे ख्याल से 3 to 4 thesis एक तो रिजेक्ट भी हो चुकी है, NIT में ही बात कर रहा हूँ मैं, और 3-4 रिवीजन के लिए आया है, दोबारा रिवाइज करके सबमिट करो, काफी आ जाते हैं. तो वो नहीं होना चाहिए. It should not happen like institute, NIT or IIT. But it is happening in some cases, very rare, but there are cases. Okay, so try to do good work. Okay, okay, all the best. Thank you.
Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you, sir.
Okay, nice. अच्छा, पेन ड्राइव तो मैंने ले लिया था शायद. तो हाँ, अब ले लिया. अच्छा, उसमें वो कर लेना, क्या नाम, PDF यूज कर लीजिए, वो हटा देना. ये क्या करना है इसकी,
साइन कर दीजिए सर.
जरूरत है?
बाकी डिटेल भेज दीजिएगा सर, वो हम भर देंगे. देखते हैं.
नहीं, भर तो मैं दूंगा. ये ले.